So yeah, now it's time for the 87 album. So I only have a single CD of this. This is the 2017 remaster. Because the box set is sold out everywhere, you can't really get it. You have to go on eBay to get it. So that's the reason I only have the single disc here. And they also changed the track listing on this, which I'm not a huge fan of changing the track
Yeah.
listing, because if you're used to something, it really ruins it for you. And David says, "Oh, but you move your furniture in your house, so why not change the track listing?" I don't think that really holds up, that
No,
argument.
he's not the only one that thinks that, but yeah, no, the only thing I figure is that they're doing it for the fans that are, well, if we're going to make them buy this again, let's give them something different, but don't mess with the track order. You know,
But on the remaster, Still of the Night is the opener still, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, the rest of them, I'm used to Bad Boys being the second track. It's the
oh
third.
yeah, absolutely.
Don't Turn Away is the last one, which I'm also happy about, because that was the last one on the original, and that really feels like a last track.
Yeah,
And yeah, Crying in the Rain is the second to last track, which
that's
is,
very strange to me.
but it is a really epic song, so it kind of works, but not really.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see the rest of the track listing is just a
that is
mess.
so that's so weird. Yeah, I don't.
It's just wrong.
Yeah, no, it literally looks like they just hit shuffle and printed
I
out whatever it came up
really
with.
have to get an older CD of this to get a better track listing, because the
Yeah.
sound on this is as good as it's gonna get if it's not remixed.
Right.
Because let's just get into it right away. The production on this, I love the production on Slide It In. Both versions, I like it. I like the more. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of bass, the frequency that is. I love the original UK, that it's a bit flatter. I like that sound. The American mix, as we talked about, bit more punch. This album, I'm not gonna say it has a lot of bass, but it sounds muddy, and the drum sound is, there's so much reverb to it, and it just sounds like a wall of noise. This album,
It's
and
a
there's
noisy album. It
and
really
the
is.
guitars really like scream and screech on this, which fits the music, of course, and I do like it, but it kind of harsh on the ears, especially if you listen to it on a really high-end system. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the album, the songs, amazing. So
Yeah.
the production and the sound aside, I just think this holds up really well. I don't have a problem with 80s keyboards, 80s production in general. I like the 80s drum sound, but I think it's just too bombastic in a way on this. It just takes over in some ways.
Yeah.
So, but Ainsley Dunbar is a monster on this.
He's a
It's
monster. Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't get to hear a lot. Yeah. When he starts
used to
doing
be
it
there.
really fast drum fills, you
Yeah.
can't really tell what he's doing, because it's,
No.
when a single snare hit goes, and then, and he's going all
My
over the
problem
kit.
is not the style of the sound. It's the
No.
production, how it
It's
actually sounds to
Yeah.
the ears.
Well, I mean, this
lost
one
my
I've got here. This is an old US
Yep.
Geffen CD,
Yep.
but this was my first Whitesnake album. I think this is when a lot of people, like definitely my age in North America, first even heard of Whitesnake. So the Canadian cassette, same track listing, was the first thing I bought from Whitesnake. So it was, I mean, this album is currently sitting at 8 million sold in the US, last certified in 1995. So I have a feeling if they re-audit, this could be a diamond album. I mean,
Definitely a
this
diamond.
album sold, like at one point, like everybody I knew had this album.
Yeah.
This was a revelation for, people like, this is the coolest thing, right? For a while, Whitesnake was the band. And yeah, because I mean, since Mike Stone and Keith Olsen, it's almost like they should have selected one producer and maybe had one sound. You had, the making of this album was completely chaotic and dramatic, and as we all know, but the album stands up, the songs stand up. if the production doesn't. You're right, it's got that very wet drum sound, which was a trend, but I was never the biggest fan of it for the most part. But yeah, if you listen to the drumming on Slide It In, and even Tommy Aldrin's on Slip of the Tongue, I mean, it sounds like an actual drum set. This doesn't sound like somebody sitting behind a drum set. It's got so much reverb and so much echo, and Sykes' guitar playing is amazing, but sometimes it's actually hard to make out what notes he's actually playing. It's just this flurry of sound. But despite it all, I think this album is totally deserving of its blockbuster status and how it's, one of the biggest hard rock albums of the 80s. So this is going to be fun to go through the tracks.
Yeah. And like listening to a song like Is This Love, like that drum sound on this just goes on. The
decay is forever.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like an electronic kit, but it's not.
Yeah, so it's that production sound that really I'm not going to say ruined it, because I'm used to how it sounds. This is kind of like a Born Again situation. I always mention that album because it's infamous for the production. And I think this is a similar case. Like the production doesn't ruin it, but I just get used to it sounding this way, and doing a remix of it probably not going to feel the same.
You're still going to want to listen to the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting because they actually did some of the tracks. They did remixes. I'm not talking about the newer from like the 2020 or the rock album. I'm not talking
rock
about
album. Yeah, any of those songs are totally
they did remixes.
Very
in
different.
2017, they did remixes of Still of the Night. I think Crying in the Rain, Here I Go Again, and most of the hits they did remixes of. So they did like 4 songs or something, and I think that's on the box set, and that's also on like a double vinyl that they released, the 30th anniversary edition. They had those 4 remixes, and I felt like, why didn't you remix the whole album? And then later,
you almost did half of it.
Yeah, and then later he did a lot more, but the entire album has not been remixed. So I think that's strange, because all the other ones have been remixed.
It's a missed opportunity there.
Slip of the Tongue has not also been remixed. So those 2 albums should really be remixed.
Slip of the Tongue would be interesting to hear. Yeah, Slip of the Tongue would be interesting to hear a remix of that album too. But anyway.
Even though I think the production of Slip of the Tongue is way better than this.
It's clear. It's easier to make out all the players.
Yeah. So especially the drum sound. Tommy's
killer drum sound on that album. And,
way better. So yeah. Anyway, getting into the ranking of the songs. Tim, what's your number 11?
So my number 11 is Straight for the Heart, and not a bad song, but this is one. The funny thing is, you can dislike, or you can not be as crazy about a song for the same reasons that you actually like another song. Because when we talked about Slide It In, I love Guilty of Love, even though it's very repetitive, it's very poppy. This is a very similar song, but this one just never clicked with me. It always sounded just too pop for David. And the production, it's so noisy. Is it guitar? Is it keyboard? Is it, I don't know. Yeah, this is my number 11. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad song, but I will defend it being the lesser of the rest of the tracks.
Yeah. That's also my number 11, Straight for the Heart. I love his vocal delivery on a particular line when he sings "Stand and Deliver."
Yes,
in the name
that's
of
the
love.
highlight of the song for sure.
And I also love the very end where he goes straight for the heart.
Yeah,
or they gonna drive me crazy, gonna drive me insane.
That's the only time that it sounds like a legit Whitesnake song.
But the rest of it is like "Straight for the Heart." It's just too happy sound.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does. It's too.
I don't like the backup vocals on this. I find them annoying. I don't like them. So not a huge fan of this one. It's all right. It's better than many other songs from many other bands, but it's not one of my favorites on this. Absolutely not. So yeah, Straight for the Heart is both our number 11. So number 10 for you, Tim.
Now from here on in, I pretty much like all of these songs. So it's just a matter of where they fit in. So my next one is Don't Turn Away. This is the last song on the album. I guess I've always been kind of surprised that when this album was really hitting big, that they didn't put this out as a fifth single, because it could have been a hit. Like "Give Me All Your Love" it missed the top 40. I think it peaked at 48. This could have been another top 40 single for them. They didn't really have that many in the U.S. when you look back. They were a huge selling band. They did well on the road, but they didn't have a lot of chart success as far as singles go. This could have been a hit for them. It's a ballad, but it's not a ballad. It's very dramatic, and I think it's a good closer because I like how it fades out. It goes into a different part.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good song. I don't think it's as strong as the other sort of melodic ballad type songs on here, but that's my number 10.
Yeah. My number 10 is Children of the Night. I think this riff is really heavy. I do like that. But I think this is generic sounding song to me. This sounds like any hair metal band song. I just feel also that the lyrics are very generic too. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Children of the Night. Are you ready to rock, Children of the Night? That chorus doesn't really do anything for me. I think it's all right. It's better than Straight for the Heart, absolutely. It's not bad. I'm not calling it bad in any way. I just don't enjoy it that much. I think this album has a lot more filler songs than Slide It In.
I agree.
No filler for me.
I
This
agree.
has some filler for me. And
Yeah.
maybe even Slip of the Tongue has some filler for me too. So yeah. So I like Slide It In is my favorite Whitesnake album easily.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be at number 2, not even number 3 for me. So this album. So yeah, Children of the Night, it's all right. I do like the more heavier sound of it, but it's not a standout track for me.
My number 9 is "You're Gonna Break My Heart Again," which, as I mentioned, I wasn't as familiar with the song because I'd had, like, at this point, 8 or 6 solid years of hearing all of the other songs until the greatest hits came out, and then I just, there's 2 other songs. Now it's cool because they're totally of the same era, they're totally the same production, and you can totally hear how they could have been on the album. I'm not really sure why they weren't, because it's not like, we're in the CD age now, and I don't think it wouldn't have been too long for a single record, but I think it's okay. I think it's a decent song. That's, it's a little close to "Don't Break My Heart Again," the way the chorus goes. Funny thing, a Whitesnake song reminding me of an older Whitesnake song, but no, it's a good song. This is where I put it.
My number 9 is "Don't Turn Away." I do like, this is similar to Straight for the Heart in the tone of the lyrics of the song in general. That it's a more happier sounding song, even though the lyrics say different.
Yeah.
But I do really, really like it. I love how it changes in the last minute of the
Yeah.
song.
Oh yeah.
It gets really dark and dramatic, and I love it so much. This is like Phil Aston from Now Spinning Magazine. This is his favorite song from this album,
Yeah.
and he always mentions that last minute of the song.
Oh, it's such a brilliant idea for it.
To keep on going, and I totally agree.
Yep.
They faded out, and I just put those faders up again. I want to hear the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's really great. So that's a good song. I think that's kind of a underrated one on this. I do really like this one.
Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised it wasn't a single.
Yep.
So my number 8 is "Looking for Love," the other of the 2 songs that I wasn't familiar with. This is does this not have Tony Franklin on bass, on fretless bass?
I'm not too sure about that.
I think it does. So, which is why it's always reminded me of something from the Blue Murder album. And obviously you've got Sykes in on the writing, but it's a good song. It's as a ballad, it's not a hit ballad. It's a good darker ballad. But I like it. It's good, and it was cool to hear it. But this is just where it fits in for me at number 8.
Yeah. My number 8 is "You're Gonna Break My Heart Again." I really like this one. Now we get into more of the songs that I really do enjoy. And I love that guitar. I just love that. And I also love David's voice in the opening lines and everything. And I also like that breakdown part where he sings, "You talk of how our love was meant to be," uh, and everything like that. I just love that part where it gets slower in tempo and then goes back up in energy again. It's just really good. I love this one. Also, an underrated one on the album, even though it wasn't included on the original. But yeah, really, really great song. This also has a killer guitar solo. I
Yeah.
love it. So good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a really good song.
So my next one was the fourth single from this album, "Give Me All Your Love." It's a fast shuffle. Um, there's two different versions of it, depending on which mix you get. Two different, completely different guitar solos. If I'm not mistaken, I think they actually had Vivian Campbell cut a solo for this like later on, but I could be wrong about that. There's so much confusion about the recording of the album and then the remixes and the versions that came out after.
And the
But
video band being on the single covers also.
yeah, all those compilations and posters. And I had a T-shirt at one time that had this where they're seated. I had a shirt with that picture on it once. But it's a good song. It's not it almost sounds like something from like the earlier days, production notwithstanding, but it sounds like something like shoot, what's the Rough and Ready from Saints and Sinners, or seems to me there's one on Come and Get It that's like that too. But it's okay. It's one of those songs where I kind of wish they decided whether they wanted the riff to be played on guitar or keyboards, because it's like I don't know. It's okay. It was never been one of my favorites, but I like it because I like the album. The solo section is cool. I like the fact that it goes into a different chords. But yeah, it's typical David Coverdale. He quotes "Fool for Your Loving" in it, which is funny because people didn't know that was people, number one, didn't know that was an earlier song, never heard of it. Number two, didn't know he was going to re-record it for the next album. So that's my next one, "Give Me All Your Love."
Yeah. My next one is probably going to be on some people's like top 3 or number 1 even. It's "Here I Go Again." I do really prefer the original on Saints and Sinners. I love the organ sound in the beginning of the original one. I love that. Also, it kind of has the same vocal approach in the beginning of the song as the original, but I do prefer the original. That was the time where David had this more bluesy type of vocals. Here he mostly like screams, and also on the next album he screams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he lost something after that sinus operation and all that. So yeah, even though he like unlocked his high range, he had some before, of course, but this went like really crazy on this album and the next one. But I think he lost something there. I think he lost his kind of low end, even though when he aged a bit, that came back, I feel.
Yeah.
Later period. So, but yeah, there's something that's missing on here, I feel. And also, this, I don't mind 80s sound. 80s music is my favorite of all time, but that opening keyboard line is extremely 80s, and it kind of dates it also. That doesn't happen on the original. So I do really prefer the original one. So also, I'm rating it low because it's not a new song.
Yeah.
Another one of the songs, you know the one,
Yeah.
that's just too good to not rank high. But this one, I didn't feel it was in the same, like, it wasn't as good, not as well executed as the other one on here.
Yeah.
So I think it's all right. It was their biggest hit. I get it. It's a classic. You hear it all the time on the radio, even today. But I think it's also a bit overplayed for me. So listening to the original is kind of refreshing. So yeah, that's my number 7.
So my next one is "Children of the Night," which it's so funny because this is the one time that musically and lyrically Whitesnake have a song that sounds like Dio. The title sounds like a Dio song.
Oh, you're thinking of Children of the Sea and those.
Children of the Sea, but also Rock and Roll Children.
Mm-hmm.
But this sounds like a Dio song, like We Rock. Like it doesn't sound
Now
like
that you mention it,
it
yeah.
doesn't sound like Are you ready to rock? Like it sounds more like I've always been amused by the ending. Are you ready to rock, rock, rock? Like it's the riff is incredible. The track is really good. It sounds generic for Whitesnake. It doesn't have any of. I wonder if Sykes wrote the lyrics for this. Like it's really, really not Coverdale's lyrical style, and because of its similarity to another song that we're going to talk about, it often gets combined. But we'll get to that later. I think it's okay. And, I'm being really nitpicky here, but it sounds out of character for Whitesnake. I know they wanted to put out a quote unquote heavy metal album, even though I would argue it's not. But yeah, this is an interesting one because of that generic sort of any heavy rock band at this time could have done this song.
Yep. My number 6 is Bad Boys. I've always loved this song. This was the song that they opened their farewell tour show that I saw. And I think they did it for some years earlier too. I think when you saw them, they also
opened with Yep.
And I also howled in the beginning.
You have to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. So, and there's video evidence of that too. So it's kind of cringy, but anyways. So I do really like this. And I think this is time to mention the John Sykes chainsaw typing.
Oh yeah, the wind up. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like that. And then I just love that riff. Really great, really an energetic song. Just love it so much. Great guitar solo. Everything about it. The lyrics, again, it's typical Coverdale. It's nothing special, but it doesn't have to be. I just love this song. It's great. So yeah, really, really good song.
Well, that's my number 5. And yeah, even when I saw Adrian Vandenberg, they did Bad Boys, and then like after the solo, they went into a little bit of Children of the Night. They're so similar. The riffs are so similar.
That's very true.
Very similar tempos. It's like they recognize that, right?
Yeah.
It's lyrically here, you can almost say it's like David, you're 36. You're not a boy. You're bad, but you're not a boy. But I don't know. But I like it. I can look past all of that. I think this is a great song. It's just so full of energy. And for me, it was the second song on the album. So it was, you're excited. I was excited to get to the 2 songs I already knew and hear them through headphones for the first time and not just hearing them on the radio or seeing the videos. But love the end of it where it goes to the double bass under cover of the moonlight. Like that's just so good. So good. Yeah.
I always used to turn that up.
Yeah.
When you have the double bass part. Yeah. So yeah.
Ainsley Dunbar was a monster on this album, and I'm really surprised that he didn't. I don't know why they picked Tommy Aldridge over him, because they were both older guys, but Ainsley's a monster drummer. I mean, I would say, like, I know he's been in a ton of bands. I know him because he was in Journey, but yeah, his performance on here is fantastic. The double bass, and he was fully capable of being a full-on member of the band. So, but no, this is just a great song.
Yeah. My next one, my number 5 is This Love? I've always loved this song. I think probably this is the ultimate ballad or power ballad or whatever you call it. I just absolutely, and especially 80s ballads, this is number 1 for me. Like, it's so great. Every time I think about a ballad in general, this is one of the songs I think about. Just amazing. David sounds really good in his lower range in the verses. And really, really good song. And this was also a video. Here I Go Again was a video, Still the Night also. So and I think this is also one of the good videos too. This is really good. And amazing. And this is always the song that people pick when they do like on social media. They do like 80s retro, going back to the 80s.
See a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, if they
Yep.
like wear an outfit inspired by the 80s or playing an album from the 80s, it's always this song that they choose. I think it is because it really has that 80s sound with the keyboards in the beginning, the opening line, and also that guitar part, and everything, the drum sound, as we mentioned, really echoey drum sound. It has all the like stereotypical kind of things in it. So, but I think it works. It really does work, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. I really, really like this one.
Yeah, it's my number 4. Yeah, as far as 80s power ballads, I think this one is held up better than a lot of them. It's not a song that starts off an acoustic guitar and then kicks in like so many of them were. It's very different. It's got that, yeah, you're right, that really haunting atmospheric keyboard line that comes in. And John Sykes playing very clean electric guitar. And I've also seen of late on social media a lot of guitar players trying to play that and have the right echo and have the right sound. It's different. It's not your typical power ballad. It's apparently it was written for Tina Turner, which is interesting. So which I think is another reason why it's not your typical rock sounding ballad, but it's such a great thing that Coverdale decided to record it himself. And I think unlike a lot of vocalists of the time, the fact that he had that naturally bluesy lower range, I don't think a lot of singers could have pulled this off because it's too low. And I find that singers that have a naturally high range, when they try to sing low, it almost just sounds like they're talking. It doesn't sound like they're singing. So, but he can convey that. And it's not an overly high song as far as the higher notes in it. It's well within his range. It's very comfortable for him. I love the fact Sykes plays exactly what the solo needs. It's so smooth.
Overplay it
it's so smooth and bluesy and cool. It's a really, really cool solo. You sing the solo by itself. This was people that remember them for Only Here I Go Again, they sometimes forget this song. This song went all the way to number 2. I mean, it was huge. It was a big, big, big song. And the fact that they went to number 2 with a new song, Sykes got at least a big hit that he got some songwriting money from. Great song. I don't get tired of it at all. It's one of the premier rock ballads of the 80s, and it might be in the upper, it might be in the top 5, like I said, because it is different. It's not by the this is what you need to do a ballad. It's just really, really smooth is how I would describe it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my number 4 is Crying in the Rain. I absolutely love this one. I think I do really, really like the original, I have to say. But it doesn't compare to this one. This is so epic in scope. This is probably the most epic Whitesnake song of all time. There's a song on the next album that comes very close, I think. That's very, very good. But I think it's just so epic. David's in his higher range here. And and the guitar solo and how everything intensifies with the drums and it goes super, super fast. And it's incredible. And this is one of the songs during that part, especially, where it kind of sounds noisy in the production.
Mm-hmm.
But so it would have been cool to hear that cleaned up in a way. But it's so great. And those drum fills after the solo is just amazing. It's just so cool. It sounds huge. And that, I think, that's when the drum sound really, really does work.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And and it sings When It's Raining in My Heart. I just
love it.
It goes so high. It's incredible. He wouldn't have been able to do that in 81 or 82 during the Coming and Saints and Sinners era. It's just incredible after the sinus operation, where they told him you won't be able to sing for a long time, or maybe ever. I don't know what they were talking about, because this is incredible. Like, this pretty much unlocked his super high range, and it's just incredible. Absolutely love this song. Originally, I actually placed it a bit lower on the list, but I felt it was too good to not place at number 4. Some people's gonna have it at number 1 or 2 or 3, but it made number 4, and I think it's a good position for it, because it's, for being a remake, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah.
So my number 3 is Here I Go Again. I mean, I think this is such an important song in their history. This is the reason that they had that second act of a career and sold so many albums. I would say, of the 8 million copies this album sold, I bet you 2-3 million of those right off the bat was because of this song. Number 1 song. I mean, pretty incredible to go from, the last time that, you came anywhere close to the top 40, you peaked at 53 with Fool for Your Love, and now all of a sudden all the way to the top. Now, I will say that I cannot stand that second 87 version of the song, the one that kicks right in. To me, that's a non-issue. I remember hearing that on the radio a couple times during the summer of 87 and thinking, what is this? Like, this is, to me, it ignores the dynamics of the song, because what makes this song work is that slow intro, and then the band kicks in for the first chorus. When you just start it in right, it's just a bland pop song. You realize what little there is to the song. But again, with the epic nature of the arrangement and the way that David sings it, it's a throwaway. And I don't even know why they did it, because it was after the album was already out, the album was already selling. I never understood why that version exists. It's confusing. And I always have to correct people when I say the 87 version. They say the video version. No, not that. But I also like the 82 version a lot. And I love the fact that you can listen to an album like Saints and Sinners, which you have not heard on the radio 100 times, and you can hear the original version of this and appreciate the song for what it is, because it's pretty much the same, but it's almost like it's had all the air sucked out of it. Like, it's just bare bones, and it does make sense with the organ sound at the beginning of it. It's more, dare I say, inspirational. And I like it. And I remember in the time, like 87, I remember Much Music, one time they played, this is going to sound really different. This is the original version of Here I Go Again. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And, the solo's very modest, compared to the 87 version. But I mean, I'm such a big fan of Adrian Vandenberg. I mean, this is the one thing he actually legit played on the 87 album, and it's totally within his style. That sort of like staggered, dun, 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 like that's very Adrian. Totally, I would come to find out, right? So radio's killed it for me. I need never hear it again. But if you're listening to the album in context, it's different. It's like, okay, this truly is great, and you remember why you liked it in the first place.
One thing we didn't mention about that song is that they changed one lyric from hobo to drifter.
Hobo to drifter, yeah. I tend to think that was a wise choice.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And also, one other thing about that song, the original one, I love during the chorus that you have the rest of the band actually singing in the background.
Yeah.
I love that. I prefer that to the 87 version. And also that terrible that you mentioned, that terrible version on the Greatest Hits, that's the one that they actually play on the radio here in Sweden, at least. Just stand it.
Thankfully, I think when everything got digitized, they kind of reverted just the album version. So I haven't heard that in the radio since 1987, and I didn't hear it again until the Greatest Hits came out.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking, oh yeah, this. I mean, I guess it's cool to have it, but it's not good.
While we talk about this, they actually also try to redo another song during this period, or not try to do, they actually did. And it was on a maxi single, and it is on the previous album, Standing in the Shadow, 87 version, because they released I think it was a 12-inch that was called 87 versions or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was only in Japan or something. And they had like the Here I Go Again 87, Standing in the Shadow 87 version. I don't like that one. It's kind of the same thing that they did with Europe. Seven Doors Hotel was
Right. Yeah.
redone in 86.
Yeah.
So, and I also don't like that one.
But
So,
Standing in the Shadow, that doesn't make any sense at all, because I mean that
no.
song was still readily available. Like do a song from an album that was never, was never big. Like there are songs from like I think Don't Break My Heart Again would have been a good choice to try to modernize that a little bit. A song like that.
It's strange to go to just the previous album and redo
Yeah.
one.
And an album that was fairly successful.
Yeah, I
Strange.
don't get it.
No.
But have you heard that one in a while?
No, I've heard of it. I've never bothered to listen to it. I should, just for curiosity.
Yeah, listen to it for curiosity, because I just think it's way worse than the original.
I can't see how you could better it anyway.
Really. So yeah. My number 3, and people are gonna be shocked. Is this over Crying in the Rain? How can it be? But Give Me All Your Love. I absolutely love this song. I love their energy to it. I think this was also the one that they play live on the show that I saw from memory. And yeah, it's really great. Always love this song. And I just love how it opens. I just love it. I also love his vocal performance, David's. It's just really great. And that solo, it's like screeching, screaming guitar. And this feels like more of it is a rock song, absolutely. It has that energy, but it feels a bit more poppy than some other stuff. But it's not like straight for the heart or anything. But
no,
it's kind of a bit more light. So having this like really aggressive guitar solo is kind of strange, but I do really like it. I think it fits really well. And yeah, great song. I love that it just ends. Most of the songs like fade out. I love that this has an ending to it. So yeah, Give Me All You Love is my number 3. And this was also one of the songs on the like box sets that they actually named Give Me All Your Love Tonight, because that's what they sing. But the title isn't Give Me All Your Love. So on like the Access All Areas live, they perform that song on most of those live albums, Live in the Shadow of the Blues, Live in all these. And they actually write out Give Me All Your Love Tonight as the title. And that always bothered me, because the title is Give Me All Your Love. But it was only that originally, because they sing Give Me All Your Love Tonight.
Yeah.
So
it's a long title too. Like I think it's better to keep it.
That's probably why they just only did that. So yeah, but absolutely love this song. Great song.
So my number 2 is Crying in the Rain. I mean, that was I'd seen the videos at the point that I bought the 87 album. I'd seen Still the Night, Here I Go Again, Is This Love, the 2 videos from Slide It In and Fool for Your Love. And so I'd literally heard 6 Whitesnake songs ever when I bought this album and put it on. Like just right away, it just slams. And you're just like, oh, what's this going to be? And talk about, I mean, in some ways, Here I Go Again is a redo. Fool for Your Lovin' is a redo. Crying in the Rain is a remake. Like they take that song to places that, especially the middle section. It's all about that middle section, right? Because that's not in the original. The original, other than that, you can hear that it's the same song, and I like it. But this just, Martin Popoff describes it. This song screams the blues, and it's so good. And Sykes is on fire. It's everything you love about John Sykes is here. Yeah, Ainsley Dunbar, man, he was just killing it on this song. But everybody's playing. Like for a band that didn't get to play these songs live, boy, they gave it their all in the studio. I like the fact it's a little bit tricky on the drum beat, like when like, boy, you really got to be on your toes to do that. And I know typically, Tommy would do a drum solo in the middle of this song, but even the studio version where it kind of goes almost into double time while Sykes is ripping, it's so epic. And see, to me, this is the way to start the album off, because I think most people they figured most well, no, I think it was a happy accident. They didn't know Still of the Night would go on to be the classic it was. So let's start off with something that's like equally as epic that they haven't heard, and it makes them want to keep listening. So it certainly did the trick for me, man. I still remember popping this in my Walkman and listening to it. And yeah, that is David Coverdale's vocal. The last when it's raining in my heart, but then crying in the rain, like it's just so good. I never get tired of it.
I have to say, one thing I forgot to mention is that after the solo, when it goes back into the melody of the song and the riff, I love that they have the like keyboards.
It's like
Just
it's
make
even
it
more
so
epic.
much more epic.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
so cool. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah. All right. My number 2 is Looking for Love. I absolutely love this song. And this is kind of similar in Crying in the Rain, where it speeds up at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that too. But the opening, one of my favorite lines that David ever sung. I'm tired of waiting. I'm closing my eyes. And that opening, I just love it so much. I think it's almost beautiful. It's just great in the beginning. And throughout the song, it just builds and builds. It's a slow build. Absolutely. It builds up very slowly, but I do really enjoy that. And I can't believe that this wasn't on some versions of the album. It's crazy.
I think this might have been a B-side, but
Yeah.
it's too good to be a B-side.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy. I think this is one of the most underrated songs in the whole catalog. I just absolutely love this because people, when they talk about this album, it's Still of the Night, Crying in the Rain, Is This Love, Here I Go Again, maybe some other, Give Me All Your Love, maybe. But this song gets overlooked. I think some people have really learned to appreciate it, and it hasn't got more love throughout the years, absolutely. But I still feel it's kind of underrated, and I love it. I think it's really, really good.
I'm really surprised that as big as this album was, and I was reading all of the rock magazines at the time, I never once came across any mention of either of those songs. But if I could have somehow heard it, I mean, I wouldn't have known where to buy imports or anything. It didn't even occur to me. Like, well, this is the album, right? Unless you read something about it. But if I'd heard Looking for Love back then, especially, I would have been like, are you kidding me? Never mind, is it not on the album? It's not a single? Like, it's a weird decision that they made. To me, I easily would have left Children of the Night off or Straight for the Heart in favor of this.
And I also love the guitar solo on this. This really sounds like the guitar is crying, and I really enjoy that. And it's kind of interesting that this is the song that sounds like the guitar is crying, but not on Crying in the Rain.
Yeah.
That was the title, but
no,
yeah.
Crying in the Rain, just like is just screaming. Blistering. Yeah. Well, it would appear that our number ones are the same mathematically. Still the Night. I mean, how could it not be? How could it not be? I mean, it's one of the best riffs of all time. It's the video's a classic.
You have that ring.
It starts off the way, it's just a killer song. It goes through so many moods and changes. And though in the later years, I would become a Led Zeppelin fan, when I would think back, the Led Zeppelin comparisons in the song are very, very, very superficial. Most of the time, people point to Black Dog because it stops and starts. Lots of songs do that. I love this song. This to me is I will never get tired of hearing this song. It is such an epic song, and it's a monster all the way through. But it closes out like a monster again with the double bass and the drum fills and Coverdale's. It's a tour de force performance. I think I remember reading that this was the first vocal he did for this album post surgery. Like almost he wanted to prove that, I can do this. Because he could have lost his livelihood. I mean, it was major surgery, so that's why there was such a long gap. But how could it not be Still of the Night? I don't know what more there is to say about this song. It's just I never get tired of it.
And I love that middle part.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just that do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I
Yep.
just love it. And in the video, he like I think it's Adrian
Yeah.
that plays with like a bow on the guitar, and it looks really, really cheesy and silly.
Yeah.
But that's actually kind of how it sounds. It sounds like he's actually doing
It
that.
sounds like, yeah, it sounds like somebody's playing a cello or something.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really cool. And then when it goes back with David, it goes, he just screams,
Yeah.
and he goes into the guitar solo. It's just so epic. If Crying in the Rain was like super, super epic, I think this is like a whole nother level for me, at least. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's Crying in the Rain, it's this, and it's another song on the next album. Just super, super epic. It's incredible.
To me, this is the quintessential Whitesnake song.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, this is not a top album for me, definitely not, but I do really love it. But it's always Still of the Night that has been the highlight for me on this. It's just amazing. But I do prefer like the older Whitesnake, the more blues rock sound. I really enjoy that. Albums like Come and Get It and Ready and Willing, that hits home for me.
Yeah.
And Slide It In is my favorite. And that's
I've got
kind of in between.
I've got such good memories of this album because that was such a great time of getting into the, the harder rock music for me. So I've always have a soft spot for this album. But I mean, I've said this many times. The very next thing I bought was Live in the Heart of the City. So yeah, I was really interested to find out what came before. But yeah, this, it's great that they, this it was an unlikely success story, right? This comeback. But they did it. They pulled it off, or he did it. I mean, Coverdale had that belief that he was going to do this, and it came true. So, what he did with the band members and all of that, that's neither here nor there now. It's all water under the bridge. It's a shame he and Sykes never mended fences. I know that he wanted to, but the album stands as an all-time 80s classic. And like I said, I think one of these days we're going to see it certified diamond, and it deserves to be.
Yeah. And also, like, he was hugely in debt during this point.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
has had a huge weight on his shoulders. So it's incredible that he pulled this off.
Yeah.
It's wow.
The old Deep Purple management, which became Whitesnake's management, didn't, they weren't getting paid. And even though Slide It In was successful, yeah, he was completely in debt. I think that at the time this came out, he was living in a condo on Geffen's dime. So if this hadn't worked, it would have been bad.
You probably wouldn't have heard of David Coverdale anymore.
No.
That it would have ended there.
It would have been a footnote at most. Hey, remember that guy that lost all that money for Geffen? Yeah.